He's still a very good receiver, right? Top five guys is dogs.
Who's your top five?
D-Hop, Devontae, 100%, right?
Wait, hold on. That because you said them off the cuff. Would you agree? I know you're an advocate of Cup, but would you agree that's a different tier of receiver?
Yeah, I even said it.
Okay.
Cup is in the bottom. In my top 10, Cup is in the second 5. Right? But those two guys, like, just different. And what, like, Devontae is just Devontae. Now he's benefited off of having number 12, throw them, right? And D-Hop is up there because D-Hop will do it with anybody. It don't matter who you put back there.
Dumpsters.
Doesn't matter who's throwing
the rock. Do it with dumpsters.
It doesn't matter who's throwing the rock. He just does it. Like, he's just a very good receiver, right? Those two guys, I think, are head and shoulders above anybody else in the NFL right now.
All right, so round it out.
My number 3 guy right now, Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is just better than everybody else.
Ace, I want to, before you say the rest of your shit, it's weird as hell to me that Messiah, shout out to Messiah. Once again, it's his birthday. But it's really weird to me that my son is a fucking Vikings fan. It's so weird to me. And like
a Bears fan.
He's a Vikings fan. It is so weird to me. And like, and his Justin Jefferson, like, he really knows Justin Jefferson. Like, when he scores, he does the giddy. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, yo, like, dude, like when did you become a Vikings fan? How did you become a Vikings fan? You know what I mean? But besides that, though, to go back to Justin Jefferson, special. I don't like,
and you look at it and you just tell, like, even though it's only been 2 years, you just know.
Yeah, he's super special. That's why. So you got him 3 already, right now.
Already. I mean, that's why you think Minnesota moved on from Stephon Dix so fast.
They knew what time it was.
They already knew.
Jamar,
right? And they would have rather. Oh
no, man!
They would have rather had a consummate professional at Thielen, working with Jefferson than Diggs. Not saying that Diggs is not a good mentor, but like Adam Thielen does everything right. Like, and looking at that, having somebody look like that, like Justin Jefferson is top 3 in the league right now. Period.
You know what's crazy about this comment right here? And I'm not sure because it's somebody else.
It's Carlton, 100%.
What's that?
It's Carlton, 100%.
The crazy thing is that Joe Burrow had both of these motherfuckers at LSU. Yeah.
Jamar Chase is a very good receiver, right? He doesn't do as much stuff over the middle of the field as Jefferson, right? But like outside, I don't think there's a better deep ball receiver than Chase in the league right now. Like, deep ball receiver, he's probably the best deep ball receiver in the league right now.
And this is Jamar.
Just Jamar Chase, correct.
Yeah.
But like, he doesn't do a lot of stuff over the middle of the field as much as those other guys do, right? D-Hop, Adams, and Jefferson, they do a lot of stuff in the middle of the field too, not just on the outside, right? They run a lot of in-breaking routes and stuff like that. Jamar doesn't do a lot of that. Now, he ran a few the last game they played against the Chiefs, but he doesn't do a lot of that, right? They get
torched their ass too. Jesus Christ.
That's the top 3. My number 4 guy for me, a lot of people won't agree with it, and that's fine. AJ Brown is my number 4 guy. AJ Brown, I think, is probably one of the better, a sleeper. I think he's one of the better receivers in the league. But people won't. He just does it differently. Like, he's a big guy, right? He catches a lot of short balls, and
Julio Jr.
Yeah, he just catches a lot. No, I won't say Julio, because Julio just massive. Right? Yeah. That dude. I mean, but people don't understand how big AJ Brown is. AJ Brown's a big guy, right? But he is my number 4 guy. And then number 5 for me is somebody that probably people don't like, but Keenan Allen, I think, has been the most consistent guy in the NFL, like for for a good long period of time. So those are my top 5.
Your top 5 is
Adams,
Hopkins,
JJ,
JJ,
AJ,
AJ
and
Brown, and
Allen.
Keenan Allen.
Yep.
That's an interesting 5. I think everybody agree with you with the top 2.
And then my bottom 5 has 2. So people don't understand. Like my number 10 guy is probably a guy that people don't like either. Hunter Renfrow is my number 10 guy. And then Cup with
Vino speaks highly of
Hunter
Renfrow.
I think Hunter Renfrow.
He's your number 10 receiver in the league today, or this season, or today, or period.
I'm going off
the combination.
Hunter Renfrow is a very good receiver, and he's sneaky good, right? Like you look at him, you're like, nah. But when Darren Waller was out, he had 100 yards a game. Like he was a guy that you already knew on third. Like he's one of those guys on third down. Where is this guy at? Because that's where they're going with the ball. Why? Doesn't drop balls. They're very good possession receiver. Probably one of the best possession receivers in the NFL. So Coop, Keenan Allen, and Hunter Renfrow are probably 3 best possession receivers in the NFL, right? But then you got a lot of guys that are really good. They just, they had down years. Like Tyler Lockett had a down year. I think DK Metcalf is up there in the top 10. But these are guys that just based off of, what they look like, right? Tyler Lockett, not so much, but you just know what Tyler Lockett, Tyler Lockett, Russell Wilson over 30 yards, nasty.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
DK Metcalf is just one of those guys, right? He's better than everybody else. He's bigger than everybody else, faster than everybody. He's just better than everybody else, right? He just didn't get a lot of opportunities after Wilson went down. It was just that kind of ruined his season this year.
Debo was above which 3? Is this on Vino still?
Yes, Debo would be my number 6 guy. He's my number 6.
So you think Debo Samuel is
Samuel is that guy.
I like Debo a lot.
Debo Samuel,
I like Debo.
But see, like him and AJ Brown, like I would almost take those out of because those are different guys. Like you could put those guys in the backfield, you can put those guys at tight end, you can put those guys kind of anywhere on the field, right? Debo Samuel has multiple rushing touchdowns, right? Now, usually when you hear about a rushing touchdown from a receiver, you think a reverse or a little, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. This man is taking the ball out of the eye and scoring touchdowns.
He's a special athlete. He's a special athlete.
This man is running between the tackles and up there. Another guy that I think is up there and I think will be up there. He may not be broken into the top 10 yet, but St. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I got to see him for one more year. Just to make sure, but he's different. He's different. I think the Lions got them a good receiver out of him, right? And he's kind of made a case for him. But there's a lot of good receivers, but the top 5 guys, I think those top 5 guys are just, the top 2 guys are just head and shoulders above everybody else. D-Hop and Adams, you could put them at 1 or 2. I don't care, right? I don't care where you put them, but
we'll say 2. As long as they top 2,
it doesn't matter. As long as they top 2, they're interchangeable. So whatever you want to do with them, you can do with them. For me, my next 3 are kind of, everybody may not agree with Keenan Allen, but I think the guy has, I think, the most catches over the last 3 years.
Keenan Allen,
yeah, my man's an automatic. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't drop a lot of balls. Very savvy guy, and he's a big guy. People think he's smart. He's a big guy. And then AJ Brown is just, he's different. Those guys are different. Those guys, AJ Brown catches. When AJ Brown catches that slant over the middle of the field, you almost think that he's gonna go every time, right? A man had a couple of 135-yard game. Hey, shout out to whoever dropped him. You know what I'm saying? Some bozo dropped him to the waiver wire. He kind of won me a championship.
Hey, did we ever find out who the hell that was?
But they was like, he wasn't doing nothing anyways. I was like, all right. The next,
did we ever found out? We never found out who dropped him.
I think it was a number 1 guy. It was the guy that I ended up beating in the. I think it was the guy I ended up beating in the
Curtis.
I think it was Curtis. I think it was Curtis.
Somebody said Stephon Dix. Where you? I guess where you got him.
Stephon Dix is my 7. 7 Cup will be 8. Stephon Dix is a very good receiver, right? He had that breakout year last year, kind of down year this year, but he's just one of those guys where Buffalo Bills are going to go to him. Now, it just so happened that you had the emergence of Donald Knox, right? So that it kind of ate into some of his targets, right? Which is not a bad thing, right? And then for like 3 or 4 games, he just wasn't playing well. Like Josh Allen wasn't playing well, kind of dug into what he was doing. But like Stephon Dix is up there. If he would have had another season like he had the year after he left Minnesota, we had like 1,500 yards. Like,
it was last year, wasn't it?
It was last year. I think it was last year. Yeah, last year. Right.
Real quick, before we continue on, because we're in the second hour of the show. Before we continue on, make sure you share the broadcast, man. Share the broadcast. Like the broadcast. You know what I'm saying? We're showing some love tonight, man. We're showing some love. Special Tuesday evening stream. Share the goddamn broadcast, man, because you know what I'm saying? If you're not sharing the broadcast, you're not showing love, because you could be anywhere in the world. I mean, I don't care if it's 2 of y'all in here, 200 of y'all in here. We gonna get this content off. And if you're not sharing the broadcast, if you're not liking the broadcast,
that's not how the game is played.
It's not how the fucking game is played, man. Y'all heard what Avon said. It's not how the game is played. It's not how the game is played. I'm happy Tyreek ain't been mentioned. I'm not high on Tyreek, bro.
He can't be mentioned. Not that he's he's just one of those guys that like you can throw him the ball at the line of scrimmage and he can take it 80 yards, right? That doesn't his speed negates some of his deficiencies as a receiver. Right. So like his speed like negates the fact that he may not be the greatest of route runners, right? Like he's just gonna run by you. He's a situational guy. Right? I know I can throw the ball deep to him. I know I can sit every night, and they got a lot of fast guys. I can put McCole Hardeman and Pringle on opposite sides on both sides, and they let them run deep, take all the coverage away, and then throwing the ball 10 yards up the middle of the field. He's just gonna run the rest of the way. Like very good receiver. He just not, these other guys are guys that just understand. Like I understand how to read coverage. I understand how to run routes. I understand how to see the field with the eyes of a quarterback. He just runs by everybody.